Coach, you needed a big week. You got a big week. What are your thoughts about your team after this week of play?
Yeah, 4 good days in a row this week. Not easy. I tip my hat to Lipscomb. I thought they threw some really nice arms at us today and competed. I'm proud of the way we competed. In both games, the way they had a big punch and kind of took the lead, and we were able to come back in both games and right away be able to fight back there. And that's a sign of a good club. Our kids are competing at a high level.
There's been a lot of freshmen come through here and play big their first year. Ross is the first one to have 3 homers in a game. I mean, it seems like every time he's in there, he's coming up with a big hit. I mean, what have you seen from him this year that's kind of separated him?
Well, he's very talented, and man, he's had, like you say, he's had some big hits. I was really pleased with the way he caught tonight. He's getting better every night behind the dish. He's got special tools back there, but he's still learning and working every day. I thought he was a really big piece tonight.
You had to use Nate in game 2 to kind of close that thing out. Had you had some separation in that game? Was there any consideration maybe letting him start game 3?
Yeah, I think so. I mean, he's kind of that hybrid type of guy. So we were, with Nate, it's kind of like with Landon, you're trying to get him in a situation where you got a chance to win. So we were just sitting there waiting, for a lead because we felt like their guy was going to pitch well that second half of that ball game.
What did you see on that play where they scored the tying run there?
We just dropped the ball, and we probably just need to catch and throw to the plate. They did a great job with it, but we just got to catch the ball.
Entering this week, or I guess going back to that Valpo game, you guys have had 4 straight starts where your pitchers going into the 6th. I guess just how big is that, and do you feel like it's kind of been contagious among your pitchers now a little bit?
I do. We've gotten some really good. I made that comment to the team after the game. Like, it's just hard when you get 3-4 inning starts, and not that you can't win, but being able to get guys out there that are getting you deep into the ball game takes the stress off the pitching staff.
In your tenure, you've had 7 doubleheaders now. You've won 5 and split 2. You said last night that you weren't a big fan of doubleheaders, but considering your record, I mean, you want to consider that, maybe rethinking that.
I didn't know that was our record, but I remember my first year when I got here, Jake Mang would always say, man, we never lose doubleheaders here, and same with rain delays. He was very into rain delays, so I guess I came from Florida State in 18, but he made that comment. It's very true, just because we get good crowds, and we had another great crowd today, and people like to come to the ballpark and tailgate out there and have a good time, and we seem to play well.
In that same vein, just kind of how big was that walk-off at the end of game 2, carrying that momentum forward into game 3?
Yeah, it was huge. I mean, that's it. We tried to carry it through. We felt like we could get going early. We kind of left some guys out there early in that ball game, which was frustrating, but those guys were excited. That was a big swing. I mean, I think our hitters knew how tough their guy was, and to win it off of him was, gave him a lot of confidence.
And you get Connor Hyzak in there, he gets a pinch hit home run. I know he hasn't had a whole lot of opportunities this year. You've talked plenty of times about how much depth you have, on that offensive bench. I guess just talk about what he did today.
Yeah, I thought it was what a huge swing. I mean, it's just trying to get him in there a little bit more. We have some really talented guys that I got to try to get more opportunities for, and we've been kind of had our backs against the wall the last 2 weeks, so it's hard to rotate and do too much shifting, but he's going to force my hand, the way he played tonight.
Casey, it's probably been tough on him going from starter to sitting out the last few weeks. Just how big was that for him to come in there and in that final inning and get those 3 outs?
Yeah, great. I mean, he needs confidence. He needs to get out there. He probably he was ready because he came to me before the game. Coach, I'm ready. I said, I know you are. So he's a dude. He said he's one of our on our captain's committee. Does everything you ask for, and he's got really good stuff. We need him, as we move into SEC play.
How has he looked in the past few weeks? Just while he's been out, while he hadn't pitched as much, how has he been attacking practices, bullpens, and things like that?
I mean, you would never know, and that's Isaac's the same way. Like I thanked him, like a week ago. Like he could sit around and pout, but he hasn't, and and you see it in the game. Those kids that just stay mentally locked in, they're going to perform a little bit better.
I think Killum was another one of the guys you mentioned being on that captain's committee before the season. What's it like when you have that frustrating play in the 9th, they tie the game, for him to just come up and almost flush it right away?
Yeah, it was huge. I mean, it's because everybody was down, everybody was disappointed, and like I said earlier, that they knew that getting to that guy was going to be tough. I mean, that guy just didn't give us much. We had 2 barrels, and they were both home runs to end up winning the game.
I know you're just off the field, but 5 games next week, and I know you don't even want to think about it, but managing pitching next week. I mean, how important is that going to be heading to Lexington?
Yeah, it's going to be huge. I mean, it's we're going to have everybody chip in. I mean, we played 2 good opponents during the week. Both teams are playing well, so we're going to take it game by game and see what we got, and try to maximize our staff.
I know Fox has kind of taken a lot of criticism early part of the season, but over the course of the last week or so, things have been pitching a lot better. How do you feel like he's handled all that? Is he even aware of any of that stuff? I mean, how would you kind of characterize where he is right now?
Well, I think he's handled it great. We've just talked about putting our head down and working. That's one of the hard things about here, that the expectations are so high, which are fine. But it's we just got a lot of young kids, and we're trying to figure ourselves out. So some of this is just kids being out there for the first time and being in tough situations. So I think he's handled it great. And he's just we're just keep coaching the kids. That's all we can do, and the kids just got to keep playing. We really and truly try not to listen to it all. You don't look at social media. You don't deal with any of that type of stuff, because it's really rarely any of it's positive. So for us, it's just move forward. We know we have a ton of great fans. So every once in a while we get some upset ones, but the majority of our fans are the best in the nation.